which I am very, very happy about. So yeah, that's what actually happened to the car. It drove into a fucking wall. Obviously not on purpose. Don't worry, lads. You just sit at home on that fucking couch. Don't help. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't you fucking worry about it. God, this feels good being able to do this. Good morning, everybody. I'm currently recovering from a 3-day hangover, so please just bear with me today. It is the 3rd day. I'm very much so struggling to speak right now, but we're gonna get through today. Now, we've got the Z4 behind us. We're gonna be doing some more bits on it today. Now, I haven't actually managed to get any bonnets or bumpers as of yet, mainly because the van, the green light van, is actually in use, so I can't use the green light van, so I've not managed to get some bodywork parts as of yet, but there are some way more things we need to start kicking on today. I've actually ordered the main radiator hoses that I need, so they're going to be on the way. I think they're going to be there on Thursday or Friday, but today we need to be doing a couple more things. Now, we actually have managed to get it starting. I actually filmed a Patreon video today. If you're not a patron, please head over to Patreon to do way more content, monthly giveaways, lower behind the scenes, basically just a way to support the channel and somewhere that I can give back to you. So we actually came the other day and we actually filmed a Patreon video on this, and we actually managed to get it starting. So I'm going to insert some clips here now. I've seen online, on the positive side here, there's like a fuse, and it looks like it kind of like blows the fuse when the airbags go. But this thing here looks like it may be something to do with that. The safety switch on, so when they have a crash, it's linked to the airbag and it blows off a cable that's linked to the starter and the alternator. Just went to Google it then, and he says if the big pack-through cable is loose, it's blown. So see that? Well, I pushed it back in, but this was outside of that and it's in this casing. So I removed the casing. Basically there's gas in here, and when a crash happens, that gas pushes this out, so it's not inside there. So I'm trying to find another one of these cables. You can replace these. There are repair kits, and you have to cut the original wire and wire it back on, and then that will remove the airbag lights. But to bypass it, I've been trying to find one of them online. They're really hard to find, but to bypass it for the time being, I've took all that off and I've just pushed this cable back in, so it's making electrical contact now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the battery in and see if it starts, and ideally it should start. So let's try that. Hey! I would have never found this out without you guys in the comments, so thank you for commenting. I had a few people say that there's some sort of battery safety fuse sort of airbag thing on the battery, and it didn't really make sense. So I researched it, and lo and behold, there is actually 2 cables coming in the battery. You have one cable going into the battery which controls the alternator and the starter, and the other one controls the electrics. Now the one with the alternator and the starter, that is actually linked to the SRS airbag system. Lots of tapping going on. It's fucking weird, BMW German things. Now when an airbag goes off or it takes a crash, goes poof, and it blows out one side of the cable, so that cable isn't touching, so you don't have contact. Therefore the electrics work, but it will not start. It won't start or anything. Anyway, we have, well, I say we fixed it. Of course we fucking bodged it. For the time being, until I can find one of them, which is a reasonable price, because right now they're all in America like 200 quid for a cable. It's a joke. So until I find one, we're going to leave it like that. Now there is a bit of an issue here because it's only pushed in, so we're going to be doing something a little bit bodge later to fix that. But for now, the really big thing about this car is it's actually leaking onto the manifold. There's a big oil leak down the side here, and it's leaking onto the manifold, and it stinks, and it's very dangerous. So we've actually ordered a rock cover gasket, and we're going to do that now. So let me go next door and get the rock cover gasket from Bennett's. Right, rock cover gasket, let's do this. I'm fighting this hangover. We're doing bits, come on, we're doing bits. But first of all, I just got to remove these covers, and they're just nice and simple things here like this. So I'm sorry if there's a lot of background noise, guys. They're doing some road works on the road, so hopefully it's not too intrusive to the video, but I think we're gonna have to just remove this strut brace, because without that, I don't think we're gonna be able to pull the valve cover off. So I'm gonna remove the oil cap and put it back on so nothing gets in there and I don't lose it, because I'm very used to losing things. So we have these 6 coil packs. Now I don't know if they are universal, or I don't know if they have to go in order, but for the sake of it, I am just going to make sure that I just put them in order off the car. Just put them back in where they come from. It's back the way you came.
Yeah, it's back the way you came.
Yes, this is just popped in with those little tabs, so we're just gonna literally get it out of the way up here. So pretty loose. Just gonna get them all loosey-goosey. There's a PCV valve here with a fucking wood screw for it, so I don't know who's done that. Oh, it's only a tiny one. Right, from what I can see, I think that's everything. So I think I'm just gonna start prying it up and see if I can get it moving. So I'm getting a little bit of resistance, so I'm gonna take these middle ones off as well. Oh yeah, no, these, so okay, so these are actually the same design as the other ones. It looks like these are actually part of the bolt down. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, that's coming this time. So here is where we get a little bit of a glimpse into the engine as well, guys. This is fun. Oh, ho, ho. Them cams look in awesome condition, which I am very, very happy about. There's literally hardly anywhere on the cams whatsoever. I'm very, very, very happy about that. So you can see where it's been leaking pretty much all the way around, especially here. Especially hit around here, but this is the worst bit. See how you got all the oil built up there? We're going to clean this and then fit the new gasket. But I've cleaned off all the edges, I've cleaned off the spark plug, where the spark plug sits, cleaned off around the edges as well. So now let's focus on this. Okay, so here we have the rocker cover gasket. So we're just going to try and just pick off the old one. It's definitely not as soft as the other one, but it's definitely not as hard as the one on the Mini. That was like literally like solid plastic just coming off. So I'm just going to work this off. Now the reason I've got some gasket maker is because I read this online when I was looking at doing this. There's some really sharp curves on this and they are definitely prone to leaking, especially around this bit here. You've got some really sharp edges and you've got a bit here where it meets the engine and there's a little bit of a gap. So people were saying online on the really sharp curves, just put a little bit of this because it just helps to seal it better. Now with these bolts too go down to 8 foot-pound. My torque wrench is a big one, it doesn't go down to 8, so we're just going to do them hand tight, all of them, and then just do a couple turns in each one, making sure we're consistent throughout. That's the idea, all right? So going around every bolt, I've just done them tight as I can get my finger, and then I've just done an extra turn, but you can actually tell how tight they're supposed to be. It gets to a point where it really just doesn't feel good, even with a 1/4 inch. And I've been doing them in a sequence as well, just to push the gasket down equally. Just like that, guys, we are all on. So I'm gonna leave off the covers for the time being, and I'm just gonna start it up. Yes! For the first time you're going to see a start up. I did start it up on Patreon, but I don't know if I'm going to insert this clip. So yeah, head over to Patreon, become a geezer. Right, so I'm going to leave the covers off and just make sure that we're not seeping out any oil. I can't leave it running for long because again, we still do not have any coolant. So I cannot leave it running for long. I'm still waiting on this radiator part. Let's start it up. Check the oil. Oil level is perfect. Let's start it up. God, this feels good being able to do this. And there she goes. Now, I have Googled, it does sound a little bit tappy. So, what I've researched is because these are hydraulic lifters in these, if it ever gets sat for a while or doesn't run for a while or gets low on oil, and then obviously they're the tappets. So, I actually read about tapping, apparently they're notorious for this, and all it needs is to get warm and then get fresh oil in the tappets and the hydraulic lift to start working again. So it's only a tiny bit tappy and it's not even that bad, but when the oil gets hot, that will get much better, but I can't allow it to get hot because we haven't got a radiator on. So I'm going to leave it running just for long enough just to make sure we can't see any oil coming out of that rock cover gasket. So one thing I want to find out on the BMW is what diff has it got? Has it got an open boy, has it got a limited boy, or is it going to soon be a welded boy? So I'm sorry about there's just so many things going on today, like it's so loud. I'm hoping that the mic's pointing my way, it's not picking up this, but I apologise. Essex water and gas seem to be all the videos today. So let's jack the back up Now there's a very easy way to find out if you've got an open diff or limited slip diff. If we jack the back up and they both spin the same way, then we've got a limited slip diff. That's good. So let's jack up the back. I have got a jack. I'm hoping I can just get underneath with this jack. It's only a shitty one, but quite a short wheelbase car. Lift up on the diff and spin the wheels. I hope we've got a limited slip, boy, because I don't really want to weld it. But let's see. Let's see. Take the handbrake off, Lee. No! We've got a f***ing open diff. Damn! Funnily enough, actually, the previous owner actually messaged me, actually watched the video, and he said, "No way, you bought my Z4. I was like, what happened? He actually drove into a wall, so I'll insert pictures there. So yeah, that's what actually happened to the car. He drove into a fucking wall. Obviously not on purpose, but he actually took his private plate off. And I'm guessing, because this never came with a V5, so I'm guessing what happened is Copart couldn't be arsed waiting for the V5 to come through, the real V5, so they've just sold it without. I've had to use a V62 form, which is basically like applying for a logbook, and that can take a while, so that's really annoying. So we're waiting on parts and waiting for the V5. I'm hoping the V5 comes through quick, because right now we don't really have that much to do. I've got one more thing to do in this video. If you remember when we first got it, it was making so much noise driving up and down. It's because there's some sort of diff guard or some sort of gearbox guard underneath the car, and it's bent, so we're going to take that off. I don't think we can fix it. We're just going to remove it. If it looks like it's covering something important, then we'll get a new one. But I'm just going to jack the car up and remove that. I'm hoping it's just bolted on. I think it's just bolted on. So here is the thing which is dragging along the floor. As you can see, it's a bit fucking bent. So I can't see. I literally can't see underneath there. I hate going under cars. I used to love it when I was younger. Not love it, I mean, don't think anyone loves it, but I didn't mind it. But like, nah, scares the hell out of me. I can see one bolt there, but the other one's like, what the fuck is this? Is that a bolt? Can't, like, I know you guys might be like, yes, it's a fucking bolt, you dickhead. Don't worry, lads, you just sit at home on that fucking couch. Don't help, don't worry about it, mate. Don't you worry about it, lads. Don't you fucking worry about it. Live a life of love. Don't know if I said it, lads. But I fucking hate being under cars. What is it? There's a fucking... I don't know what that does, but it's not going back on because it's only protecting the exhaust. And we're still gonna push... What? Right, so, in regards to the boot, this... ain't coming off, trust me. What I've done is I took it off. I'm not going to take that off because of the battery, and it's going to freak out, but I just literally twisted it in and that ain't coming off. Now I obviously don't want to run it like that in case I am drifting and it does come out, so I've got some really strong tape here and I'm just going to wrap it round really tight, and trust me, that ain't coming off. And then obviously we're going to have to get a new one in the end anyway, so let's just do that, run it, and then when we find a new one that's not, you know, at absolutely extortionate price, then we're going to put it on and then we can sort all the airbags out at once. It's pretty much better than a weld, that is, lads. So that's it for me, guys. Hope you're enjoying this content. It's actually quite hard to find parts for this. There's hardly any people breaking these. It's a lot harder to find parts for these than like the Merc and stuff, and I'm not sure why. I think obviously the Z4s are quite rare. Annoyingly enough as well is that although it's mainly the same engine in these cars, the parts are still totally different. Like the radiators have been different, little other things have been different, radiator hoses have been different, so it's all really specific, a little bit like the Merc, so it's quite hard to find parts for it as well. And it's not just like you could just get universal parts and put them on. They've all got specific clips and specific connections, and it's all German stuff really. But we need to find some more stuff. I'm just waiting for the van. It's so nice, I could literally take it for a drive, but it's just like a series of things that I can't. So no V5, and that's just making it a little bit annoying, so you know. But I can't wait to get this on the road. I hope the V5 comes soon while it's still warm and we can get the roof down. But thanks for watching, everyone. I love you all. I'm going to go home and spend the rest of today searching for some more parts. Hope we can find some, but I love you all. I hope you enjoy the series, and we'll see you in the next one.